What if Ahsoka joined Maul on Mandalore? The throne room of Mandalore echoed with the hum of lightsabers. Ahsoka Tano stood poised, her blue blades clashing against Maul's crimson saber. His words gnawed at her resolve as they fought. "The Jedi have failed," Maul declared, his voice dripping with conviction. "The Republic is crumbling, and soon, the galaxy will belong to the Sith. Join me, Ahsoka. Together, we can survive what's coming." "You only care about your survival, Maul," Ahsoka retorted, her grip on her sabers tightening. "You're no better than the Sith you claim to despise." Maul smirked, his eyes glinting with dark amusement. "Perhaps. But unlike them, I offer you a choice. Help me stop the true enemy, or watch the galaxy burn." Her hesitation was brief, but significant. With a reluctant sigh, Ahsoka deactivated her lightsabers and stepped back. "I'll work with you, for now. But cross me, Maul, and I'll end this alliance myself." Ahsoka returned to her troops, who stood warily outside the palace. Their expressions reflected confusion and concern as they awaited her orders. "Listen to me," Ahsoka began, her voice firm. "We're in danger. Something's happening to the Jedi, and I believe we're being targeted. Rex, I need you to cut all external communications." Rex frowned, his brow furrowing. "What are you talking about?" "Just trust me," she replied urgently. "If we stay connected, we'll be compromised." Though hesitant, Rex obeyed her orders. The 332nd Legion severed their connection to the Republic's network, unknowingly saving themselves from the catastrophe of Order 66. As they left Mandalore, Ahsoka Tano sat tensely at the ship's communication console, trying desperately to reach the Jedi Council. Each attempt yielded nothing but static or frantic, garbled messages from clones on the verge of chaos. Ahsoka frowned, her voice filled with frustration. "I can't reach anyone. It's just static." Darth Maul stood nearby, his arms crossed as he observed her efforts with cold detachment. "Then it's too late," he said. "The Jedi are already finished." Ahsoka turned to glare at him, her blue eyes burning with defiance, but she couldn't bring herself to argue. Deep down, she feared he might be right. Ahsoka turned to the ship's navicomputer. Her hands trembled as she plotted a course. "Set a course for Coruscant. If anyone knows where Anakin is, it's Padme." When their ship descended through the smoggy skies of Coruscant, a horrifying sight awaited them. The Jedi Temple, once a symbol of hope and peace, stood engulfed in flames. Smoke curled into the heavens, and the faint echo of alarms carried through the air. Ahsoka's breath caught in her throat as she took in the devastation. The temple grounds were littered with the bodies of Jedi, younglings, and temple guards, their lightsabers extinguished beside them. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "We're too late." Maul stood at her side, a grim smile playing on his lips. "This is what happens when you place your faith in weakness," he said, his voice dripping with disdain. Ignoring him, Ahsoka moved cautiously through the ruins, her heart heavy with grief. Amidst the carnage, she and Maul encountered Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. Both looked battered but resolute, their survival a testament to their skill and tenacity. Obi-Wan's expression hardened the moment he saw Maul. "Ahsoka," he said sharply, "what is he doing here?" Ahsoka met Obi-Wan's glare with steady determination. "We're working together, for now," she replied. "We don't have time to argue. Anakin's alive, and he's fallen to the dark side." The group exchanged solemn glances before splitting up. Obi-Wan and Yoda departed to confront Palpatine, while Ahsoka and Maul prepared themselves for the daunting task of facing Anakin Skywalker. Ahsoka found Padme in her apartment, grief-stricken but determined. The senator's eyes widened in surprise at Ahsoka's sudden appearance. "Ahsoka? What are you doing here?" Padme asked, her voice laced with worry. "I need your help," Ahsoka said urgently. "Anakin, something's happened to him. Do you know where he is?" Padme hesitated, torn between her love for Anakin and the fear gnawing at her heart. Finally, she nodded. "He's on Mustafar. I'll take you to him." Unbeknownst to them, Maul and the 332nd Legion followed in a second ship. Yoda and Obi-Wan moved silently through the opulent halls of the Senate building, their footsteps masked by the distant hum of Coruscant's never-ending activity. They entered the Chancellor's private chambers, where Palpatine sat, his expression a mix of smug satisfaction and malevolence. Palpatine smiled as he stood to greet them. "Master Yoda, Master Kenobi, how predictable." "We've come to end your tyranny," Obi-Wan said, his tone cold and resolute. Palpatine rose, his crimson blade igniting with a menacing hiss. A sinister smile spread across his face. "Then by all means try." The room erupted into chaos as Yoda and Obi-Wan ignited their lightsabers. The green and blue blades clashed against Palpatine's crimson, filling the air with sparks and the roar of battle. Padme and Ahsoka arrived on Mustafar, the planet's rivers of lava reflecting the turmoil in Anakin's heart. They found him standing at the edge of a platform, his eyes glowing with Sith corruption. "Padme, Ahsoka, why are you here?" Anakin asked, his voice low and dangerous. "We came to save you, Anakin," Padme pleaded, her eyes welling with tears. "Please, come back to us." "This isn't you, Anakin," Ahsoka added, her tone firm yet sorrowful. "You've been manipulated by the Sith." Anakin's expression twisted with anger. "I brought peace to the galaxy. I ended the Jedi's corruption." Before the conversation could continue, Maul's ship landed nearby, and the 332nd troopers poured out, led by Rex. "Skywalker," Maul declared, igniting his dual-bladed lightsaber. "Your destiny ends here." As the duel raged on Mustafar, Padme's voice broke through the chaos. "Anakin, stop. Think about our child. Think about us." Her words pierced through Anakin's rage, and for a moment his blade lowered. Doubt clouded his mind. "Padme." But Maul seized the moment, lunging at Anakin and driving his blade through his chest. "No!" Ahsoka cried out, horror etched across her face. Anakin collapsed to his knees, his expression a mixture of shock and betrayal. Padme screamed, rushing to his side, but Maul merely smirked, his blade still ignited. "You were a tool, Skywalker," Maul sneered. "A pawn in Sidious's game. And like all pawns, you've been sacrificed." Rex and the troopers erupted into action, their blasters firing at Maul. Jesse led the charge, his aim true, but Maul was a whirlwind of red light and dark power. In one swift move, he deflected the shots and hurled Jesse aside with the Force. "Jesse!" Rex shouted, his voice breaking as he rushed to his fallen comrade. But it was too late. Jesse lay motionless. Ahsoka's anger boiled over. She ignited her lightsabers and charged at Maul, their blades colliding in a clash of light and sound. The two combatants moved with deadly precision, their duel a storm of fury and grief. The remaining troopers provided cover fire, forcing Maul to retreat. His escape was swift, but not before Ahsoka landed a decisive blow, severing one of his mechanical legs. He snarled in pain but disappeared into the shadows, vowing revenge. The aftermath on Mustafar was a scene of devastation. Anakin lay barely conscious, his breath shallow. Padme knelt beside him, her tears falling onto his burned skin. "Ahsoka," she whispered, her voice trembling. We need to save him. Ahsoka hesitated, her heart torn. Padme, he's gone too far. I don't think he can be saved. No, Padme said firmly, her gaze locking onto Ahsoka's. He can't be gone. Reluctantly, Ahsoka nodded. She and Rex carried Anakin onto their ship, his life hanging by a thread. As they departed Mustafar, Ahsoka couldn't shake the feeling that the galaxy's future now rested on a knife's edge. Back on Coruscant, Ahsoka and Rex regrouped with Obi-Wan and Yoda in the ruins of the Jedi Temple. The survivors were few, their numbers decimated by the purge. Yoda leaned heavily on his cane, his voice somber. A heavy cost this war has had. Rebuild, we must. Palpatine escaped, Obi-Wan added, his expression grim. He's still out there. Ahsoka squared her shoulders, her resolve hardening. Then we'll find him. Together. The galaxy mourned its losses as the surviving Jedi began the arduous task of rebuilding. The clones, led by Rex, underwent surgery to remove their inhibitor chips, finally free from Palpatine's control. As the sun rose over the horizon of Coruscant, Ahsoka stood on the steps of the ruined temple, her gaze fixed on the future. The fight was far from over, but she vowed to honor the sacrifices of those who had fallen and to forge a new path for the galaxy. And so, with hope flickering like a distant star, the Jedi began their journey toward a new dawn. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.